Hi, this is Kate from Generate Magic. So often in the manifestation community, we hear the expression, it's already done, or you already have it when it comes to your desire. And sometimes that can be frustrating to hear, right? Because it's like, well, if I already have it, then why am I not experiencing it right now? Like, why does life feel like such a struggle right now? And because the truth is, even if it's true that there's these infinite possibilities, these infinite realities, and space and time don't really exist, we're still having this linear human experience, right? And so that's why I think processes can be very helpful, because it helps us to activate or to tap in to the essence of whatever it is that we desire, right? And so we can more deeply connect with the truth of, yes, I do already have it. I do already have the love or the abundance or whatever it is that I desire. But sometimes these processes can become sort of like a process in and of themselves, right? And it become sort of an obsession trying to get the process just right. And when you really think about it, really the root of all these processes, when we really go deeper, is to know ourselves as God, to know ourselves as the divine, and to more deeply connect with these higher powers, right? And so, but even when you hear the expression, especially if you grew up, religious, you might have heard the expression that God is always with you. And again, it can be kind of hard to fully buy into that, right? Or to fully wrap your head around it, because I'm sure there's been times for all of us when we feel like God is not with us, right? When we feel very separate from God. And so I did an exercise in A Course in Miracles today, and I have to reiterate what I said in my last video, that I returned to the Course at just the right moment in my life. And it really reinforced the idea that really there's nothing better that I could be doing with my life, that there were all these kind of protests from my ego and from my mind. Every time I would try to get back into it, that, oh, there's better things you could be doing. But no, this is the best possible thing that I could be doing for myself. And so this is lesson 69, I believe. I'll have to look it up for sure, but I believe it's lesson 69 in A Course in Miracles. And I always link to the book because I feel like for me personally, it's very helpful to have a physical copy of the book, because I like to underline the book, I like to write in the book. But if you just Google, if you just look up, lesson 69 in Course in Miracles, you can find the lesson online as well. So you don't have to buy the book to get the lesson. And so this is the single most powerful lesson that I've done so far. And so what the lesson is, so far up until this point, it's been, every day, every lesson is a mantra, and you kind of reflect on the mantra, and like it's a single statement, right? Like, love holds no grievances. And so you're guided to reflect on the statement kind of in a meditative way, and just kind of see what comes up for you. And so it's done kind of in a way that, even though through the meditation process, definitely you'll kind of step outside of your mind a little bit, and things will start to open up for you. Up until this point, at least for me, it had still been very much a very cerebral experience of trying to kind of understand these truths with my mind. And so in this lesson, it was a little bit different in that it actually guides you through a visualization. And so in the visualization, and again, I'm just kind of paraphrasing here, so I would encourage you to actually look up the lesson and to do it for yourself, and because it's a very, very powerful lesson. And so in the exercise, you're imagining your mind being filled with these dark clouds, and you can't see anything because the clouds are so dark, right? That's all you can see is these dark clouds. But then it instructs you to start, just kind of start pushing back the clouds, right? And as you push back the clouds, you start to see the light, right? And the light represents the divine or God, source, whatever you want to call it, your I am presence. And so it's that higher presence, right, is the light. And so the more you push away the clouds, the more of that light you receive. And in that space of light, you can start to feel like viscerally feel that connection with the divine. And if you have like any specific questions for God, you can ask questions. If you just want to talk to God, you can talk. And today for me, it was mostly just about feeling that presence and feeling that comfort and feeling that reassurance that I am not alone. And knowing that anytime that from moving forward, anytime I feel that separation, anytime I feel alone, I can just push back the clouds and I can see the light again, and I can connect back to that God presence again. And also in the exercise, it said in the workbook, it said know that even if you feel like you don't receive a clear answer right away, know that God has heard you. Have that faith, right? Have that reassurance, and just stand in that knowing. And reading that line, somehow that was very, very powerful for me. And it's interesting because it actually connected to a guided meditation that I did earlier today, which I will also link to. And the meditation was connecting with your I am presence. And in the meditation, you're just kind of imagining this light moving throughout your body. And at the end of the meditation, he says, know that this I am presence, know that it is not just theoretical, that it is very real. And somehow, again, just hearing him saying that, right? I just felt like this reassurance. And it was like, it's kind of like a beacon, right? A beacon of light that you can hold on to whenever you feel unsteady, whenever you feel yourself kind of falling like into that doubt or that uncertainty or that fear. Just think of it as just like as a beacon that you can always turn to. And what also I think is so powerful about this exercise is that again, even if you believe, right, that space and time are not real, we still are having this linear experience. And so what I like about this exercise is that it takes you through this linear process. So from our human minds, it's very easy to kind of go from here to there, right? So it's easy to go from being in the space where we still feel like this limited human self to connecting with this God presence, to connecting with our divine selves. And so it really felt like I actually made like a shift, right? Like I made a transition. And I feel like this exercise, that it could also, another mantra or another kind of famous line in A Course in Miracles is, can I see love instead of this? And can I see peace instead of this? And so I think this exercise can also be very helpful whenever you feel anything that's unlike love or peace. Whenever you feel that energy, right, that dense energy, and it can feel like dark clouds in your mind. And so you could just imagine yourself just pushing away those clouds and being able to see the light. Or anytime that you feel confused, right? Anytime that you feel uncertain about the next step. And I think the clouds, right, is also very symbolic of feeling confused, just feeling that lack of clarity. And so when we push aside the clouds, we can see the light, we can see the clarity. And I think this can also work very well for specific things that you're trying to manifest as well. And so if you're feeling like any sort of like separation, right, between you and a specific person, and so maybe you're feeling these dark clouds between you and the person, right? You're feeling some sort of distance, you're feeling some tension, and so you could just push aside the tension, and you can see that person through the light of love. You can see that person and the truth of who they truly are, right? Who we all truly are, which is this pure, loving, radiant presence. And let's say that it's more money that you're trying to manifest, right? More abundance or financial prosperity. And sometimes that stress, right? That sense of lack that we feel, that sense that we don't have enough, maybe that fear, right, that we're not going to have enough money to pay our bills or just to manage our basic expenses, or fear that we're just going to be stuck in a job that we find very unfulfilling, that we'll be stuck there in that situation for the rest of our lives, right? Yeah, so just all those fears that come up, right? You can just push aside those fears and you can just see yourself in that light, right? In that prosperity and that feeling that love, feeling that financial, that freedom, because that's to me what prosperity feels like. It feels like pure freedom. And so really just basking in that. And also to me, it's like a comforting presence, letting me know that God is always here for me, right? That God is not going to let me, struggle, right? That God always has my back, no matter how, no matter how dire things may seem, or no matter how uncertain things may seem, right? And so I think this process can really work with anything. And so again, this is lesson 69 in A Course in Miracles. I'm going to link to that and to the text and also to the guided meditation connecting you to your I am presence. And so I really hope that you start to get some more of that clarity and really just feel that divine presence, right? Really just feel that connection and know that even when it seems like it, even when it feels like it, even in your darkest hours, that we're never truly alone. And it's interesting too, because after I did this exercise, I felt my mind felt the quietest and the calmest that it's felt in ages. And I wasn't having, because I'm sure I'm not alone here. We all have a very, most of us anyway, have a very active mind. And it's not even just like my mind. It's not even just like it's always negative. It's just like it always has to be like doing something and or talking about something, or even just really mundane, silly things like planning my grocery list, or I'll wash some dishes and then I'll kind of replay the episode in my mind, and it's just all these just kind of pointless things that really just are kind of when you add it all up, it's kind of like a real energy drain. And I felt none of that today. And it's not like I was trying, I was actively trying to resist it, or I was actively trying to, shift my energy or shift my thoughts or focus on anything specific. And it's just like I felt that light of God within me, right? I felt that clarity within me. So again, I really do encourage you to try this, and I'd love to see how this exercise worked for you. So thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.